Hello YouTube, how's it going? My name is Legion Bricks, and I'm back with another video. And you may have seen this guy, at least most of you may be familiar with him. But, have you seen this guy? Yeah, this is something that I've been working on for a while. It is, if you can't tell, it is the red Imperial Guard from the original trilogy, and a little of the prequels, but yeah, he is the Imperial Guard, you know, Palpatine's Royal Guards. He just looks sweet. This is something that I've been working on for about a week now, and I have a ton of red parts, so I thought this would be perfect. I looked at Boba Fett's helmet, and I was just like, hey, we saw a leak for this guy. I don't know if it's true or not, but I want to make him, so that's what I did. But yeah, you can see, I tried to balance it out with studded areas and sloped areas, because I don't have enough slopes to cover this completely, but I do have a lot of studded areas. So I tried to balance it out, you know, trying to give him that hood-like feature, but this is technically a helmet. And you can see a couple areas where it's more smooth than others, especially right here. See the difference right there. But yeah, just moving this guy around, you can see I used some very curved slopes actually at the top to give it that nice curved look, and how it just goes down to the visor, and how the whole facial structure works. And it's symmetrical on the other side. You can see all those slopes and how it kind of curves to the back. Over here, it does get kind of iffy. Some spots that I would really like to come back to, because I just don't have enough curved areas, is especially down here. It's very blocky, very almost gappy, as you can see. I got that first layer down at the bottom to look very smooth, but it just gets very blocky from there. And I just think I used a boat piece here, actually, a boat hull, I believe. But yeah, down here, it's just very blocky, and I wish I could revisit this with more slope pieces, really. Probably gonna make a bricklink order to try and finish this off more. But yeah, this is just basically bricks on hinges to try and give it a nice slope area. And moving on from that, you can see just on the bottom of that how that's made up with a ton of hinge pieces. It's very colorful on the inside of this model, I will say. Not saying that's not colorful on the outside, but you get what I mean. I can take this stand off without breaking a bunch of things. And move that to the side. You can see the helmet can stand by itself. Everything is nice and structurally stable. It's actually very stable, much like the Boba Fett one. But in here you can see a ton of colorful stuff, a ton of crazy building techniques, a few illegal building techniques, I will be honest, but using Technic pieces right there. And you can see how that all makes up the facial structure. And that piece is really trying to come off. I'll leave it right there. But there it is, looking at it head on, and how it curves down in the front, because it's not actually flat out and right there either. It kind of comes to a point in a way. And taking these off, which are, excuse me, held in there to give it a nice flush finish, you can actually take off the entire front faceplate, if I can get it off. It's not too stuck in there. Alright, and there's a lot going on in here. Excuse me. There is a ton of colors, first of all. You can see a ton of yellow bricks, and that Technic piece that was holding in those other pieces. But you can see these are actually held in by mixel joints to give it a nice flush finish, so you can actually move those around. There is quite a bit of stuff in here as well. That plate, why is it unseparate that? But moving on from that, you can see there's only 10 studs there holding that entire faceplate in place. And these are held in, very interestingly, by just one stud on both sides, 2 studs in total for both of these. It's 2 separate pieces. If this one, oh, it broke, but I'll get that out real quick. These are just basically bricks. It's a snot technique. Stud's not on top, if you don't know. Yeah, you can see how that kind of, it's nice and flush right there, if I can push that together again. But these ones come out just as well. These are just connected by a 1x1 bricks with the stud on the side, and that just connects right there as a middle forehead piece in a way. And these up on there with one stud each holding them in place to give it a nice dome finish. And then if I've put everything back on, wait, I gotta put these back on first. These just connect by one stud. Yeah, that's not the most secure connection. These fall off a ton. It's the only way I could really figure out how to do it, with having those on there and the faceplate fitting on there as well. So this isn't by any means a play set, but I don't think any of the bust sets really are a play set. They're more of a put it on the shelf and look at it set. So I kind of designed this with that in mind. Hopefully that'll stay. I'm not sure, but you can see how that comes together. It gives it a nice flush finish. You can't really see what's in it along with those curved bricks on top. Now hopefully I can just put this right back on and make it nice and easy. And push, oh, that fell out. If you push on that, it'll connect. Make sure all those are nice and sturdy in there. And you can see in there that brick is connected on there, so I'm just gonna try and pop this back on. Sorry, this is really tedious. Sometimes you gotta adjust this stuff to make sure that it's not gonna fall off, make sure that the stud is actually connected. This one fell out as well. Alright, there we go. Nice and finished now. So moving on from that, this I tried to incorporate some type of curve. I couldn't really find any pictures of anything because it all comes down to the shoulders, and I didn't want to do it that far. So I just tried to finish it off there and kind of give you the idea that it would slope down further towards the shoulders. And then coming back to the back again, just showing off that curve on there, blocky curve. And coming up here, you can actually see quite a few almost illegal building techniques, I will say. A lot of things aren't connected completely by the stud. Excuse me. But right there, if you can tell, the stud isn't completely connected in there. Just some connections that are just a tiny bit too tight. I'm sure someone with a lot of bricks, more bricks than me, could probably figure out a way to connect these better. But I just had to work with what I had. So, and taking off this big boat hull piece, you can see a little bit of the inside in there. It's a tiny bit hollow. But you've got a big 1x12 brick running down the middle to connect this whole back piece on there. So, and you can see a little bit of irregular building because I'm running out of pieces as I'm building this. And that fell out. But yeah, I'm almost out of red bricks now because this thing is just completely red. It's like a red marker, but you can see there is a little gap right there. And I would wish to have finished this off a little more eventually, but to work on it. And that piece is still falling off. This whole thing is a little bit loose. I gotta go back and fix that. You can tell this is definitely a fragile thing. It's not by any means something that is meant to be played with at all. But hopefully, yep, that'll stay now. So I'll put this stand back together. And boom, there we are. We have the Imperial Guard helmet bust compared to the Boba Fett bust. You can see it's a little bit taller because this one actually is bigger. It's heavier too. I don't know exactly how heavy, but I just know it's heavier. So there it is compared to the Boba Fett bust. It's a little bit bigger. It's a little bit bigger, and the stand isn't completely the same, just because I don't have the bricks to make it. That's really all I have to say about this. Really cool build. So if you liked it, definitely consider subscribing if you like Lego Star Wars. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.